Hello and welcome to this time lapse of Amongst the Violets. Photo references by DeAnne Hope. She does the most incredible hare and rabbit photographs. I found this on the Facebook group called Free Reference Photos for Artists. It's got some really good photographs on there. The photographers are really generous with their beautiful photography that we can use as reference. And I have a permission to use this as a tutorial. So I'm working on pastel matte paper. The size of this piece is 34 centimeters by 35 centimeters, and I'm working on the sand colorway. I chose this photo because I loved the different elements. I loved the background, the dark green bushy background. I loved the rabbit, and I also loved the wild violets. So I was quite excited to work on this piece. So I started off with the background, some dark greens. One of my favorites is Senelio 179 black green that I use on the very first layer, and then go in with some unison darks as well and build up on top of that, making sure that I rub every layer into the paper. It was really important for the background to get that soft focus look, so I didn't want any harsh lines, except on the very last layer where you've got this bright yellow green, so that you can get more of a shape of leaves. I've left that with quite sharpish edges. And then I've taped up the reference photo right next to where I'm actually painting. And that's just a good little tip when you're learning to paint, to pastel, to draw, so that your eyes don't have far to travel. So you can really see what's going on and copy what you see in the reference photograph. So working using pastel pencils as well as hard pastels, and then some soft pastels, making little short marks to get all the little fur on his face. So I've just put up a piece of paper, that's to stop what's underneath from smudging. It's just a piece of plain photocopier paper. The full-time tutorial can be found on my Patreon page, which I shall leave a link below in the description. Really enjoyable painting this bunny. All the different colors, bringing in violets, grays, blue grays, brown, into her fur. I don't know why it looks like a girl to me. It's probably not. It's probably a boy. I can't tell the difference. I don't really know. But to me it just looks like a girl. So going in with my lighter. So I generally work from dark to light. Sometimes though I find when fur is thick like this, I tend to go in with the darks, midtones, then lights, and then I reiterate the darks again. I go back in with darks. So it's a bit of a toing and froing that goes on when I'm trying to create this thick, dense fur. But generally speaking, I work from dark to light. So in this piece I have used a number of different pastel brands. I don't stick to one pastel brand. I like to try out all the different textures, all the different colors that you can get in each range. So in this piece we've got Sennelier, Unison, Mount Vision, some new pastels by Prismacolor. So I mix and match. Oh, Terry Ludwig's. I've got the Dark Intense 2 set, which has been invaluable in adding to my collection. I find when you want to create this 3D look to your work, it's really important to create depth. And the easiest way and the best way, and how you do that, I guess, is by getting your darks really, really dark, and then midtones, and then getting some highlights. If you just go in with midtones and then highlights, and your darks aren't dark enough, you risk your work looking a bit flat, in my opinion. And this is if you are wanting to create more realistic pastel paintings. So I also use a mixture of pastel pencils. Again, I don't stick to one brand. Got Caran d'Ache, Carbothellos, Derwent. So putting in the eye, lots of fun putting in the eye. I think most people, it's one of the best parts that they really enjoy, is doing the eye. My best part of the painting generally is the background, and also I loved creating the violets. I mean, I love every aspect of it. I love creating the ear too, because I love pink and purples. But I know people love painting the eye. So just working down on the bottom. I don't tend to finish one area completely before I move on to the next. I tend to jump around. My eyes going over the whole painting all the time, and I'm just feeling for where I should work next. So yeah, generally I don't finish one part of the painting and move to the next. My brain just doesn't work like that. Bringing in these wild violets, this was fun. Using a lot of Terry Ludwig from the Intense Darks 2 range, and some unisons like plummy purpley browns, some lovely blue greens to get the shadows of all the leaves, coming in with some intense blue violets. And I enjoyed this part of the painting because it's also looser. I'm not trying to create every single leaf and every single petal. I'm just wanting to get the impression of what I'm seeing. Again, this is really becomes important when you're painting loosely, I feel, especially with flowers, because you're wanting to create depth in the painting. So if I just went in with one green and one purple or two purples, it would look very flat. Anyway, so carrying on with the foreground here, some nice yellow greens, remembering to take the grass over your subject, over the bunny, so it looks like she's sitting down in the grass, and the violets. Putting in the whiskers, which is a fun part. I'll go into more depth about that in the actual tutorial. But if you've enjoyed this, then please do check me out on Patreon. You can click on the link below, as I mentioned before. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye bye.